Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, do you believe what's going on in Afghanistan? And you're watching the news, so I don't want to regurgitate it. I want to focus on just one simple thing, and it's this. Do you believe that your president, Joe Biden, the Department of Defense, the Secretary of State, all of them, fled Afghanistan and left behind tens of thousands of Americans? How does that happen? These are the same people that are running this country, that are allowing inflation to run away, our border wide open, energy dependence, and then we bag OPEC, crime through the freaking roof. These are the same people that got control of this country by being political gangsters. Just think of the incompetency of these people. But we're supposed to believe them on the vax, aren't we? Blinken admits that he received 20 some odd diplomatic dispatches about what was going on in Afghanistan, and he chose to ignore them. Blinken, I came up with something. Where is Thumpkin? Remember that? Where is Thumpkin? That's what I think of Blinken. I don't know why. I keep thinking of where is Thumpkin every time I hear the name Blinken. Where is Thumpkin? Where's Blinken? Secretary of Defense Austin. This is our military guy. What have we done militarily to deal with the problem? You know what's crazy? It looks like, what are we going to do? Like after leaving Kabul, we're going to have to invade Kabul to save Americans? I mean, it's a disgrace. This same guy is worried about diversity and white supremacy in the military. No military action to save these Americans. What's the plan? Unprecedented mood. Tony Blair said Biden's an imbecile. Boris Johnson is just beside himself. The Brits are upset. And the Parliament, the British Parliament, says Joe Biden is abdicating world dominion to the Chinese. Remember all this talk that they're going to love Joe Biden? America's back. America's back. Just how strong and safe, strong Trump was and safe, and now we got this. Now we got this. Schumer out there dancing with Colbert while all this is going on, having a good old time. Remember, they're not about solving problems. They're about political gangsterism, lining their pockets, just throwing money at anything and everything. You've seen the numbers, don't you? The numbers of the money that went into Afghanistan, just poof. How about this? Al-Qaeda. Joe Biden says, Al-Qaeda's not in. Now they admit Al-Qaeda's still there. Al-Qaeda and Taliban, the difference, I heard somebody yesterday say, the difference between drinking Coke and drinking Pepsi. Then you got Gates. Robert Gates, Secretary of Defense under Bush and Obama, said this, that Joe Biden was been wrong on every foreign policy issue for 40 years. Look at this. The Americans that voted for this guy, and by the way, there's now a report that there's 15 million mail-in voter registrations unaccounted for. Taliban. The Taliban mocks us by redoing the Hiroshima flag raising. Boy, that's a punch in the gut, isn't it? Punch in the gut. And then instead of doing military transports, Biden is Civil Reserve Air Fleet. Can you imagine that? Making the commercial airlines go do it? I bet you those commercial airline pilots are like, screw you, I ain't flying that freaking plane over there. Just everything they do is just stupid. They don't know what they're doing. There's an old expression on the farm, we say, don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Applies to those guys. Then we have the Department of State, in the midst of all this, gets cyber attacked. This is great. Trump gave a speech in Alabama at an incredible rally. He said it was far worse in Vietnam. He's right. He says everything woke turns to S. I love that. But there's one thing that Trump got booed on. And it stings him because he knows he got trapped with Fauci in the middle of the COVID. They're reporting all the deaths, and he wasn't strong enough to follow his instincts to say this is all bullshit. When he talked about getting vaxxed, they booed him. They booed him. But you know what? At least Trump, I'm going to defend him on this. Trump, at least, is saying, hey, get vaxxed or not get vaxxed. He's not saying mandatory vax, is he? No, he's not. It's a big difference. Vaccine or negative test requirements going across this country. You know, the music venues and everything else. Think about that. Vax or negative test requirements. Not to mention the fact that the test has a carcinogen that is part of the swab. Came out from a study, I forget where the study came from, that blue masks, these blue masks we all wore, only 10% effective. 10%. University of Virginia has disenrolled like 200 students because they didn't get the vax. Patients are being denied health care because they're not vaccinated. That's like, I was thinking about that with me. So I get an emergency, I go to the hospital, well, he's not vaccinated. You know how stupid that is? How stupid it is? When all the healthcare workers either vaccinated or got protection equipment. They did it for a year and a half. Beshear's emergency powers took a whack on Saturday with an opinion that his emergency powers have gone too freaking far. Let's hope the Kentucky Supreme Court, liberal they might be, is finally waking up. An Israel study shows 50% of the COVID are vaccinated people. 50% of them. I know this, the numbers in the tri-state hospitals is over 30%. Over 30%. And they're lying about what happens to the vaccinated people, all the details about the vaccine. They're not counting anything on vaccinated people, just the unvaccinated people. Last but not least, you can't make this up. Larry Elder, according to the LA Times, is the face of white supremacy. Larry Elder, a black man who's going to beat Newsom. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Scary times we live in.